All right, so let me show you what I like to use for clients that are unsure about the potential of SEO and the return on investment they can get. So before I jump into the actual Excel sheet that breaks down these numbers, I want to show you how I derived with developing this Excel sheet. So if you have ever seen this, this is from Search Engine Watch, and this is from April 21, 2011. And it was a study done by several different companies. Optify was one. Let's see, I think this is the same company. Let's see, Chitika was another. I don't say the names here, but I know there was a couple others. Oh, AOL too. Yeah, based off of this is when the data from AOL was hacked out, and you could actually it actually showed us the percentage of click-throughs from number one, number two, number three from AOL's data. So that was cool. So it's got several different numbers here. So what the numbers actually are showing is the average click-through rate on the position in Google. So I actually took my data from Optify. So I thought it was the most, um, it was the smallest number. So I thought if I worked with kind of the smallest number, then I could show the best case scenario. And if it's better, then fantastic, then it's better. So the average click-through rate for number one was 36.4. For ranking number two in Google for any key for the keyword you're optimizing for was 12.5, and then so on and so forth, all the way down to number 10, and then page 2 at the top, number 11, and so on and so forth. So this is where this report here, and you'll have this link as well, but this is the actual report that I used to develop this Excel spreadsheet. So let's go to the Excel spreadsheet. So here are column A here. This is ranking number one, number two, number three, number four, and so on and so forth. This column, column B, is the exact match search volume. And I put a little star up here. The little stars mean you can edit these. So I will grab, if you're doing one keyword, then you can do one. If you do 10 keywords, then I will group all 10 keywords with the exact match number, add all those up, and then put it in this column here. So all these numbers will be the same. Monthly traffic. So this is where I actually put in the data from that Search Engine Watch article. You'll see here that I've taken column B and I have times it by 36%, which I get this number here, over 100. So that's where I'm actually getting. So it's taking 1,500 searches, exact match searches, and then it's taking 36% of that, which is going to be 540. So that'll be the click-through rate, or that's how many clicks you're actually going to get. So then it already has the math in there, so you don't need to touch this column. You just need to change this. Like I'll show you, if you just change it to 1,000, you'll see it changes. Copy it all the way down. You'll see all these numbers change. Column D here is the conversion rate. So I always try to be as conservative as possible with clients. A 1% conversion rate, sometimes or 1.5 or 2%, that's pretty conservative. I mean, if you're doing 5, 10%, it's doable, but it's not very often that happens. So, stick between, I'd say anywhere between 1 and 3% is a very, very conservative number for conversions on a client's website. This is information you need to get from the client, which is the value of a client, the lifetime value of a client. So if you're working with a dentist, for instance, you could say, Mr. Dentist, when you sign on a new client of yours, how much over their lifetime of getting different services through you, what would you say the total lifetime value of that client is? And they'll say, oh, well, it's $5,000. Fantastic. You punch in that number here. And again, you want to copy it all the way down. And so then after you've filled in all the information here, you'll see it spits out ranking expectations. And this is the number that they can expect to make once you get them ranked for that specific position. So if you get them page 1, number 10 for all the keywords, or the one keyword you have in here with all the exact match search volume, you can expect, or they can expect, to make $2,000. an additional $2,000 in revenue. Now, I don't know what they're going to be spending with you, but it helps you build a case for, well, if we get you to number one and your conversion rate is 2% and your lifetime value of every client is $5,000, well, let's say it's not even $5,000 lifetime. Let's just say the value of a client each month is $5,000. Let's say you're working with an attorney and every case they get is $5,000. That's cold hard cash that they get for every new case that they generate through your marketing. Then they can expect to be making, once you hit them at number one in Google, they'll be making $36,000 a month once you get them to number one for all the keywords, or the one keyword that has 1,000 search volume a month. So I love to use this in a way where I will have a client or a prospect on the phone and I will show them, usually I'll use something like join.me. I will get them on the phone and on my computer, and then they will watch me go through this Excel document. And I won't have anything filled in yet. I'll walk them through the Google AdWords tool. We'll look at their whole search volumes, and then we'll add those all up together. We'll say a conservative number for your conversions on your website is probably going to be 1 to 3%. Maybe we'll just start off with 1%, and then I'll ask them what's the lifetime value of a client. Usually lifetime value is a lot higher, so I like to use that number because that makes your ranking expectations a lot higher as well. But a lot of times you'll find clients don't actually know the lifetime value of a client. So, but they will know month to month, a new client typically is worth X. So that might be a little bit easier to digest for them rather than not having the numbers for the lifetime value of a client. So let's say you're working with an HVAC company. Let's say it's in a high volume city. So it's 2,000 searches a month for all their keywords. And let's say with each new air conditioning repair that they do, they make, let's just say they make $500. Okay. We'll do all that all the way down. So that means at a 2% conversion rate, and typically this is actually pretty low for an HVAC company. Let's just say it's going to be 3%. If you're driving quality traffic from Google, because as we all know, Google traffic is pretty high quality, so the conversion rates are going to be high. Based off of these numbers here, they can expect to be making an extra $10,000 a month by you driving new air conditioning repair leads to their website. So you can say, Mr. HVAC, this is what we can expect once I get you to number one in Google. I'm only going to be charging you $1,200 a month for these services, but you're going to be making $10,000 a month once I get you to number one. Now, of course, you talk about that it's going to take a little bit of time and all the other SEO elements, just managing your clients' expectations on getting them to number one. But they can really see the value of, this is how much I'm going to charge, and this is how much you're going to be making. And as you know, most times clients will ask this question, well, how much will I make with SEO? What can I expect with getting to number one? And so on and so forth with those types of questions. Well, this Excel sheet really helps you mitigate those questions, and it really shows them in a way that they can digest it mentally on what they can expect dollar-wise by ranking in Google. Again, it's just taking the data from this report here and sticking it into something that is easily digestible for your prospects. So feel free to use it. Like I said, I love to use this in presentations and get people to look at my screen and check this out, and it really helps them manage their expectations and gets them excited too, because once we get them to page one, they really should be making that, and possibly even more, just depending on if we can get the conversion rate up even better. So I hope you enjoy this Excel sheet. Please tell me if you used it and if it helped you close a deal. I'm excited to hear that. So thanks.